is CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
CEMTV News, Truth First, you next. Stay informed to stay empowered. Good evening and welcome to CEMTV News at 6. I am Bariswa Christian Omwiga, and let's take a look at the headlines. Rivers State President called for community policing over increasing crime rate. U.S. House votes to withhold 100% of aid to Nigeria over Christian persecution. Ukrainians protest against Zelensky's removal of Defense Minister Mihailo Fedorov. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting every voice.
Welcome back. We're breaking the news from Rivers, where residents of Port Harcourt have expressed growing concerns over insecurity in the city, particularly the increase in cases of one-chance robberies and kidnappings. Speaking with CEMTV crew, the people's called on the government to strengthen security measures and create employment opportunities to address the root cause of crime.
Well, I think it's better than most other parts of Port Harcourt because it's an estate, the federal housing estate, and it's gated and protected by security personnel virtually everywhere. So it's much better, but we usually have issues towards the December period, and it's usually petty thefts, not any major issues. Some years back, we used to have issues, armed robberies in the area, car thefts, but that has changed. It was remedied, and it's much better than it used to be. So it's improved greatly. Well, fortunately, we're also looking at this new state police bill that Tinubu, the president, is pushing. I think that will also help, improve things greatly, security-wise. But generally, beef up security, set up a few task forces and some teams, and specific areas. Focus on the areas where crime is high. I think that's the best option. Well, basically, it's for them to work with all the other security organizations within the state and to ensure that there is finance and set up a body that will govern, an oversight committee or something that will oversee the affairs of security and ensure that the individuals who are in charge are above board. They definitely need to be screened to ensure that they don't have any past history of basically, the problem is you have individuals who have bad records. So if they're screened and they are above board, there shouldn't be any problems. I think that would generally take care of the situation.
Other residents who spoke with CEMTV News advocated for increased security and the implementation of local policing, stressing that such a system would only succeed if it is not politicized or influenced by tribal sentiments.
Actually, in my area, the security is okay now because we have a security companies that manage our estates, and everything is fine. Like before, we are having a lot of distractions, and everything is fine now. So the security is very fine for my area where I stay, Rumola here, Chief Benson Estate. And when you look at the church, also is affecting the church, affect the market, even affect you as the journalist. You affect your job, because if the company, if our country is working well, your journalism will be increased. Are you getting me? Yeah, it will be getting more customers. Yeah, I think they are talking about the state police. Okay, that state police is okay if they cannot play politics on it. Because one of the things we are having in this country is politics. But if the state police did their job very, very well, I believe the insecurity will be reduced. Very, very, very. If they not play politics, because one of the things that's making this country is not moving forward is the politics. Tribalism is making this country is going down almost every day.
My area, I can't really tell that it's like 100% secured. Well, they've been like 2%. They should look into it because it's getting out of hand. Yes, seriously, it's getting, people are now scared. Sometimes, if I'm coming back from work, I would like, let me trek. Okay, sometimes if you not trek like this, they will drag your bag from you. Why you're trekking? You're not even inside taxi. If you enter taxi is a problem. You trek is another problem, and people are really scared about it. So I think the government should look into it. So do you think they should? Yeah, just like you said, like employing new people, for people that will take it serious, not people that they will just stay relaxed. When it's time for them to collect salary, they come back and collect money there. So people that will do their job well, at least they should employ more people for this security, this thing. I think that one will be better.
Moving on, the Rivers State House of Assembly Committee on Petitions and Public Complaints visited Rumosi community in Obiakpo local government area over the ongoing land dispute involving more than 6,000 plots at Victory Estate. The fact-finding mission led by the committee chairman Enemi Alagbo George followed petition from the Obiakpo local government chairman to Rumosi community affected residents and the corporate organizations preliminary findings from the office of the survivor. General indicates that the respondent land claim is not supported by available records and that over 500 property owners have reportedly been displaced following demolitions. Addressing journalists, the chairman, Rivers State Committee on Petitions and Public Complaints, George, urged all parties to remain peaceful and respect the rule of law, noting that the committee's finding will be presented to the Rivers State House of Assembly to facilitate a lawful resolution of the dispute. To the legislature now, where Senate has confirmed Professor Abayomi Sunday Fasina as a non-career ambassadorial nominee, despite opposition from some lawmakers and recent protests by civil society organizations over his nomination. The confirmation followed the consideration and adoption of the report made against the nominee had been investigated by the relevant authorities, including the Governing Council of the Federal University Oye Ekiti and the Nigeria Police Force. Away from that, the United States House of Representatives today voted to withhold 100% of aid to Nigeria over Christian persecution until the country meets specific conditions to tackle violence. The vote follows an amendment sponsored by United States Congressman Gregory Stuebe. The amendment proved by a voice vote was added to the fiscal 2027 State Department spending bill, which the House later passed with 270 votes against 209. Report says the underlying bill and originally proposed withholding 50% of funds appropriated for Nigeria until the U.S. Secretary of State is satisfied that the country has taken effective steps to prevent and respond to violence and hold perpetrators accountable. To the judiciary, where the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, has filed a 15 billion naira defamation suit against Prince Adeyemi Matthew at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, over allegations that he demanded a 48% kickback from a 27.3 billion naira take-off grant approved for a federal agencies. The suit filed by the Gbajabiamila legal team from Pinheiro LP, led by Kemi Pere, will follow Oguntade, Olukayode, Enitan, and Chukwudi Enebele, describe that allegations against President Tinubu Chief of Staff as false, malicious, and defamatory. Reports say Gbajabiamila is seeking 10 billion naira in general damages, 5 billion naira in aggravated damages, 200 million. Asked the court to compel the defendant to pin the apology on all social media platforms and online channels where the alleged defamatory statements were published for 30 days. In another development, Justice Mohammed Garba Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja has issued a final warning to presidential candidate of the African Alliance Congress AAC Omoyele Sowore to resume his defense and the defamation charges filed against him by the Department of State Services DSS. The judge issued a warning today following the absence of Showore's lead counsel Olumide Fushika, San, and Ruben Adekola during the proceedings. Recall that during earlier proceedings on July 13, Showore through Adekola sought a long adjournment, but the request was turned down by the judge. Adekola had appealed that the defense predicted his long adjournment, calling President Tinubu a criminal on his Facebook page and X handle. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has validated the guidelines of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on the conduct of the 2027 general election, setting aside the May 20 judgment of the Federal High Court, which nullified the guidelines. The three justices unanimously agreed that Justice Mohammed Garba Umar of the Federal High Court, who on May 20 nullified the guidelines on the ground that it violated some provisions of the Electoral Act, did so in gross errors and led to miscarriage of justice. The party did not explain how the guidelines affected it and its members and the conduct of the primary election for the nomination of candidates for the 2027 poll. In a separate development, the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja today ordered the final forfeiture of the asset worth about 8.9 billion naira linked to businesswoman Aisha Achimogu to the federal government. The forfeited assets include jewelry valued at 4.65 billion naira. Elevena made the order while delivering judgment on an application filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission seeking the final forfeiture of the assets. Recall that the EFCC had urged the court to permanently forfeit the properties of the federal government, urging that they were linked to unlawful activities. On security, the commanding officer of the 21 Battalion Nigerian Army, Godiya Monday, says troops are working to trace the location after the gunmen who abducted 4 persons from an examination center in Kogi State made contact. Monday closed this on today while addressing newsmen at the scene of the attack in Olowa, a community in the Dekina local government area of the state. The commander put the number of abductees at 4, comprising 2 students and school principal and a supervisor who was on ground for the National Examination Council examination. Elsewhere, the Senior Special Assistant on Human Rights to Delta State Governor Kelvin Ejumodo has vowed that popular content creator identified as Odogu Asaba must face the full weight of the law for the alleged rape, sexual molestation and assault of a deceased 20-year-old girl, demanding his arrest by the Delta State Police Command. This is contained in a statement by Ejumudo and made available to newsmen in Delta. Reports say that the deceased committed suicide by drinking substances believed to be sniper after the suspect, who is currently in police custody, who allegedly lured her to Asaba under the pretense of helping her, raped, sexually molested and assaulted her. To Africa now, where South Africa has appointed a multidisciplinary team to detective and crime and intelligence officers to investigate the murder of the provincial leader of an anti-immigrant group. The acting police chief, Lieutenant General Puleng Dimpen, in a statement said the appointment of the seasoned team underscores the seriousness with which the service is treating the case. Report says Andile Somgaza, who headed Match and Match Gutang branch, was shot in the driveway on his home in Johannesburg on 3rd July and died in hospital 10 days later. Match and Match say they believe his killing was in retaliation for the group's campaign to get undocumented migrants to leave the country. In Algeria, authorities say an orphanage fire incident has reportedly injured 19 and killed at least 11 people, including children, amid a health wave that has sparked hundreds of blaze in the country's north. Rachid Balahaj, head of the forensic medicine department at Mustafa Bachar Hospital, said some of the bodies were completely burned and required DNA tests to be identified. Firefighters had been battling to extinguish the flames since before dawn in the Muhammadu Suburu of Algiers. Report says from July 8 to 15, the civil defense have reported 932 fires, noting that most have been extinguished while a small number are still burning. And on the violent scene, Italian officials handed jail terms for the Motorway Bridge disaster that killed 43. Prosecutors has asked for a far longer jail term for ex-Autostrade Power Litara chief Giovanni Castellucci. Reports say top motorway officials Michael Donferri Motali was given 11 years in jail. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Diaz, whose brother Henry died and the bridge collapsed, told newsmen he was satisfied with the verdict, while Eagle Posita, whose sister and her family were all killed, said the 12-year term handed to the Castello was acceptable. On the foreign scene, protests have been taking place in the several Ukrainian cities against President Volodymyr Zelensky, a surprise dismissal of popular defense minister Mikhailo Fedorov. Zelensky's decision has caused significant upset among commentators, the military and civil society organizations. Speaking at a press conference with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Zelensky acknowledged that the conflict between the General Staff and the Defense Ministry had been systematic and occurred at various levels, noting that Siersky and Fedorov would only work together with his mediation. Still to come on the news stories are 24 million people tune in to watch England versus Argentina match. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment. We'll be right back.
This is CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
Thanks for staying tuned.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting every voice.
Glad to have you back. Thanks for staying tuned. Now to the rest of the news stories. In business, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council says it has facilitated the disbursement of 979.8 million naira in grants to 128 women-owned export-oriented micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMs), strengthening efforts to boost non-oil exports and expand the participation of Nigerian women in international digital corporate communications. Aliyu Saidu Sadiq, the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NAPC Nonye Anyeni, disclosed this during a town hall meeting with exporters. Anyeni, she said the achievement followed Nigeria's selection as one of only 4 countries worldwide to benefit from the pilot phase of the Discovery Grant Initiative. Meanwhile, British Steel has been taken into public ownership in a move the government said will protect jobs and safeguard a vital national capability. Recall that the UK government had taken control of the British Steel's operations in Scantopole last year, though it was still owned by China's Jingxiang Group, limiting the government's ability to decide on its future strategy. Report says nationalization buys the government time and gives it the power and freedom to decide on the future of the plant while keeping the blast furnace going. In health, the National Population Commission (NPC) says Nigerians can now register birth and death and obtain certificates online through its newly introduced digital registration platform, eliminating the need for physical visit in many cases. NPC Chairman Dr. Aminu Yusuf announced the commencement of the electronic civil registration and vital statistics system and the Vilterage platform at a press briefing in Abuja. According to Yusuf, the platform became operational nationwide on July 1st, 2026, covering the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The NPC chairman said the digital platform will modernize birth and death registration by providing faster and more efficient services, 24-hour online access, digital certificate issuance where applicable, improved data validation, and a more secure national civil registration database. Meanwhile, Nigeria has intensified efforts to tackle the growing challenges of drug misuse while ensuring that patients who require controlled medicines for pain relief, mental health treatment, and palliative care continue to get safe and timely access to them, the World Health Organization has said. World Health Organization disclosed this in a statement issued today following the National Drug Use Summit, which brought together government officials, security agencies, development partners, civil society organizations, and health experts to strengthen the country's response to substance abuse. Report says drug abuse has remained a major public health concern in Nigeria, particularly among young people, with authorities repeatedly warning on the widespread misuse of opioids such as tramadol, codeine, base cough syrup, and other prescription medicines. Finally, in health, the World Health Organization and United Nations Children Fund (UNICEF) says about 13.5 million infants did not receive a single vaccine in their first year of life despite global childhood immunization coverage, recording modest gains in 2025. According to the latest World Health Organization UNICEF estimate of national immunization coverage released on Tuesday, 19% of infants globally, representing nearly 116 million children receive at least one dose of the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis vaccine (ADP) in 2025, while 85% or about 110 million infants completed the recommended 3-dose series. The report noted that although both indicators increased by 1 percentage point compared to 2024, global vaccination coverage remains below pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels recorded in 2019 and has remained allegedly strengthened for more than a decade. In sport, a peak audience of 24 million people tuned in to watch England's defeat by Argentina in the World Cup semi-final, making it the most watched live television event in the past 5 years. Report says the BBC One and player audience was the biggest for a broadcaster since the Euro 2020 final between England and Italy, which was held in 2021. England will face France in the third place playoff in Miami on Saturday, while Argentina plays Spain in the final in New Jersey on Sunday. Still in sport, Argentina faces the prospect of disciplinary action from FIFA after the player celebrated the World Cup semi-final win against England with a banner in support of their country's claims to the Falkland Island. The defending world champions produced a dramatic late comeback in the Atlanta, scoring twice to defeat Thomas Tuchel's side 2-1 and book showdown with Spain in Sunday's final. After the final whistle, Argentina players celebrated while holding a banner reading Las Malvinas son Argentinas, which translates as the Falklands are Argentina. Downing Street is back calls for FIFA to investigate, with the Prime Minister's official spokesperson saying the World Cup might not be theirs, but the Falkland Islands definitely are stressing that the country's commitment to the Falklands will never waver. Still in sport, Carlos Alcaraz has entered next month's Cincinnati Open as the world number 3 moves closer to returning from a wrist injury. The 7-time Grand Slam champion last played on tour in April when he suffered an injury at the Barcelona Open. He has since withdrawn from the French Open and Wimbledon, missing the chance to defend his Roland Garros title. The 23-year-old will be looking to prove his readiness for the US Open, the final Grand Slam of the year, where he is regaining champion. And on entertainment, MultiChoice has announced one of Africa's leading e-gaming giant, Bapwa, as the official headline sponsor of Big Brother Naija Season 11, marking one of the most significant entertainment partnerships in African television. Report says for more than a decade, Big Brother Naija has transformed ordinary Nigerians into extraordinary success stories, adding that Bet Power has spent years doing the same in its own, creating millions of winning moments for customers across Africa while investing in people's communities and industries that power the continent's future. Finally, in our news at 6, Nollywood actor Jim Iyke has revealed how choosing acting over the career his parents planned forced him to leave his family home. The veteran Nollywood actor said his family had lined up an impressive